For numerous years, we humans have questioned the presence of extraterrestrial beings on Earth, giants, aliens, and other strange phenomena like UFOs. Over the years, we have had various theories on the presence of UFOs and their discovery by numerous people. But how true have these discoveries been? Are these encounters true? Have they truly been present on Earth, UFOs? One of the big questions that hang in the UFO community is the Fermi paradox. That is, if there is intelligent life out there, how come no one has come calling by now? Well, it would be accurate to say that the extraterrestrial beings that make use of these UFOs don't want to be seen because they would want to study the beings on this planet without disturbance, and being seen would ruin that for them. But luckily for us, several high reconnaissance cameras have been developed that have made their visit no longer a secret. So due to the advanced technology, there have been sightings or encounters with UFOs that have somewhat shocked people, or better still, sent chills down their spines. On November 11th, 2014, in Santiago, Chile, Chilean Navy was on a routine patrol near the capital city, and they also happened to be testing a forward infrared flare camera. While it was being tested, something caught the technician's eye. When he pointed to the camera in the direction of the object that caught his eye, he realized that it seemed to be two large overlapping orbs that moved in unison. If these orbs were connected, the technician could not tell. All of a sudden, the two large orbs released a plume of some sort, not once, but twice. Up till today, a specialist has still not been able to tell what the plume is and why the object released the plume. The encounter was so shocking that the Chilean government had kept it undercover for 2 years before eventually releasing the footage to the public. And even during the 2 years, they still could not find an explanation for the object. What makes the whole encounter somewhat scary is the fact, after several years and advances in technology, there is still no explanation for the object that was seen, and there still is confusion on how it entered the Chilean airspace undetected. So that brings up the question of how advanced are these UFOs? Are they even more advanced than our technology? Imagine being a pilot in a plane and you are called by the control tower that an object that they could not recognize or identify flew above the plane. Sounds shocking, right? Well, the pilots in Flight 2292 experienced it. On February 21st, 2021, Flight 2292 was headed from Cincinnati to Phoenix, and everything seemed completely fine until it cruised at 3,600 feet over northwestern New Mexico. Then it received an unexpected message from the control tower. The control tower informed them that a long cylindrical object that almost looked like a cruise missile that hurtled at about 400 knots had just flown directly over the passenger plane. What made it all more mysterious and thrilling was the fact that the unidentified object did not give out any transponder signal, and it was not even found under the radar. So the question was, is it a stealth missile or an actual UFO? On the day of the flight, the missile testing ground in New Mexico had not tested any missile, so that ruled out the assumption of it being a missile. It also had the regular shape of other objects that have been called UFOs, so that could only mean one thing. The object that flew over the passenger plane extremely fast and close was a UFO. The conclusion that it was a UFO could not be challenged because in 2004, a similar occurrence also happened at the same location. 4th of July is not only famous for independence celebrations, but also for sightings of things like UFOs. Chatsworth, California, July 4th, 2018, John Lopez was celebrating independence with his family in the backyard because it gives a better view of the fireworks display. But this year, the Lopez family got to see more than just the fireworks. As the family watched the fireworks, they saw something. 3 independent lights in the sky which looked like fireballs that seemed to be floating around in the sky. The lights were flickering on and off and hovered for more than 30 minutes. The strange part of the whole sighting is the fact that it was the second time in a row that the Lopez family had seen this strange light, and this had left them wondering why every 4th of July. Alexis Brooke, who is a specialist in the UFO field, says it was perfectly normal for an occurrence like this to happen, but what baffles the UFO community is the fact that the sightings and encounters usually heighten on the 4th of July. It could be argued that it could have been fireworks, but video analyst Tim McMillan says, "I do not detect any similarities between what I would expect to see from fireworks, because fireworks are momentarily lapse of lightning exploding in the sky and vanishing." Also, astronomer and video analyst Mark D'Antonio says it cannot be sky lanterns or aircraft because sky lanterns move slowly and on the prevailing wind in the sky. The real question here is why UFO sightings increase during the 4th of July. Do the fireworks somehow attract them in some way? Or are we just a galactic zoo that they are observing. So after all the expert analysis, it could only mean one thing: what the Lopez family saw on Independence Night was certainly a UFO. We have been told of Lake Superior and its long history of wicked storms, shipwrecks, and anomalous sightings. Well, add this to the list of weird things: close encounter between a Great Lake freighter and a UFO. In June 2019, Eric Rintamaki set out to find a special rock called Uper lights that he had heard about but had never seen before, and that required a particular type of black light to locate. But at the moment, he noticed a very distinctive light in the air over the lake. Looking up, Eric decided to make a video of the light that caught his attention, and it turned out to be two lights flying perfectly in line with each other. They could have been two lights on a larger object because the video could not capture it properly. There was no noise coming from the light that could indicate what the light was. Even once passed over a ship, and when Eric checked with the ship, they said they did not see or hear anything out of the ordinary, which was even more peculiar. After spending more than 2 hours watching this object, Eric began to wonder if it was also watching him. As it got closer and closer to him, the light would suddenly flicker off and come back on, appearing larger than before. The author Alexis Brooks says that there have been instances where UFOs have tried to make contact with people who see them, and from the video, it is evident that the UFO was trying to make contact. The surprising thing is, why would a UFO that goes to such lengths not to be seen would be trying to make contact? The real question here is, was what Eric saw an optical illusion because of a ghost ship was claimed to have been seen on Lake Superior, but it turned out to be an island? Or could it be that Eric saw a UFO? No evidence was detected that the lights were added to the video recording, says Michael Primo, a video specialist. So that automatically means that the lights in the video were, in fact, real. The lights from the objects could not have been created by an aircraft because they were not blinking the way that lights on an aircraft would, and neither were they created by a drone. After all, drones make use of a power-packed battery that would make it almost impossible to fly in the sky for over 2 hours. So that could only mean one thing: Eric Rintamaki did encounter a UFO. Even with so many encounters and sightings, not everyone is convinced, and some still believe UFOs are a hoax, made-up stories, or better still, propaganda made up by the government. Or what if these UFOs are just what they are: unidentified flying objects, not alien ships? We would actually only know if we did make contact with one of these UFOs. As for if these UFOs are actually commandeered by actual extraterrestrial beings who are studying us, or whether or not these UFOs are for peaceful purposes or not, only time can truly tell, right? Tell me, what are your thoughts? Leave them below in the comments.